good evening to you. It's the first day of August and we are so excited that you have been able to make us part of your day. I'm Wakio Mzenge. Our sign language interpreter is Catherine Simaloy. A very good evening to you and welcome to TV47 Prime. We start with a little bit of sad news where Kenya's road safety crisis has once again come under sharp focus after at least 21 people lost their lives in separate road accidents across the country within less than 24 hours. The latest tragedies involving public service vehicles, private motorists and pedestrians have renewed concerns over the rising number of fatal crashes on major highways and notorious black spots, raising fresh questions about road safety measures, infrastructure and driver discipline. Here's a report by Samira Mohammed.
The alarming series of crashes has once again placed the spotlight on Kenya's worsening road safety record, with at least 21 people losing their lives in separate accidents across the country within 24 hours. The deadliest of the latest crashes occurred at around 6 a.m. on Saturday morning along the Kimbimbi-Ngurumbani Road in Kirinyaga County, where 8 people were killed in a horrific head-on collision involving a tuk-tuk and a parcel delivery truck.
Kuya leo tumeweza kupatwa na mshimba hapa Mwea katika karibu na daraja la Mto Morubara, ambapo lori imeweza kugongana kichwa kwa kichwa na tuk-tuk ambayo ilikuwa imebeba zaidi ya watu 9. Na wakaweza kuangamia wote.
Hapa tumepata kuna accident imefanyika, kuna tuk-tuk imekanyangwa na lori. Kenye tunauliza serikali, hii barabara ni highway na hii highway imesimamiwa na Kenha.
According to reports, most of the victims were casual laborers traveling to rice fields in Mwea for planting when the tragedy struck at Mburaru village in Mwea constituency.
Hapa ndo kumekuwa na accident ya lori ya kampuni ya Fago na tuk-tuk yenye ilikuwa imebeba wamama wakienda kupanda mchere kutoka Kibebe. Kumekuwa na accident baya sana na tumepoteza mioyo 9 hapa.
5 occupants of the tuk-tuk died on the spot, while 2 others succumbed to their injuries after being rushed to Kimbimbi Level 4 Hospital.
Inasemekana kwamba ilikuwa inajaribu kupotelea mashimo ambayo ilikatwa kwa barabara wakati barabara ilikuwa inafanyiwa ujenzi, na hapo tukaweza kupoteza zaidi ya watu ama ya mioyo 9.
The bodies of the victims were moved to Kirogoya Level 4 Hospital mortuary, while the wreckage of the 2 vehicles were towed to Angoro Police Station for inspection. The Kirinyaga tragedy came just hours after another fatal crash claimed 1 life and left 4 others seriously injured at Mlimangu along the Narok-Mai-Mayo highway shortly after midnight. Meanwhile, 7 people, including 2 secondary school students, also died in a grisly road accident near Burnt Forest in Uasin Gishu County. The Thursday night crash, which occurred at around 8 p.m., involved a trailer traveling from Nakuru to Eldoret and 2 other vehicles, including a PSV vehicle heading to Nairobi from Kakamega. As investigations into the latest crashes continue, grieving families left mourning loved ones whose journey ended in tragedy, while renewed calls grow louder for urgent measure to curb the rising cases of road carnage on Kenyan roads. Samira Mohammed for TV47 Nairobi.
Ngana venye hiyo lori ilitupa mwelekeo, ni kama hiyo driver alikuwa amerara juu ametupa mwelekeo akagonga hiyo tuk-tuk.
That's definitely concerning. What's also concerning is that the nurses' strike has entered its 4th day, with the Kenya National Union of Nurses and Midwives, KNUNM, strongly dismissing reports that the industrial action has been called off. The union insists that no nurse should return to work without an official directive from the Secretary General, while accusing the government of failing to implement agreements that have remained pending for years. Susan Locho reports.
Healthcare services continue to face disruption as the nurses' strike enters another phase, with the Kenya National Union of Nurses and Midwives maintaining that the industrial action is still ongoing across all 47 counties.
Wanatuona kama hata hatufai, wanatuona kama hata sisi sio wa Kenya. lakini inasikitisha zaidi tukiona kuwa wanashughulikia wengine, wanatubagua. Wakisema idadi yetu iko juu. Iko juu vipi kama kweli mnatuhitaji kutuajiri, tuweze kufanya kazi? Ikifika saa ya kulipa inakuwa kuna shida za pesa.
Addressing the media, the union says nurses will continue boycotting work until the government addresses their grievances, while commending members for the unity and commitment throughout the strike.
While we encourage any county which has the capacity to implement our CBA, to do promotion for those who have been toiling under very serious and risky circumstances in our facilities. If they can do all that promotions, appreciate the nurses who have been serving, give them proper job placements.
NAM has also dismissed reports that the strike has been suspended, saying only the Secretary General has the authority to issue such a directive.
Common mwananchi whom we have been sympathizing with, who has been getting us back when our issues are not fully implemented. We are telling them we sympathize with them, but this time we are not going back until the governors, until SRC behave, approve our CBA, so that we take it to court for registration and implementation.
As negotiations continue, NAM maintains that its members will remain on strike until they receive official communication from the union leadership. Susan Locho for TV47, Nairobi.
Meanwhile, water service providers have been urged to strengthen preparedness measures ahead of the anticipated El Niño rains. Stakeholders say early warning systems, infrastructure protection, and flood mitigation plans are critical in safeguarding water supplies, protecting communities, and reducing the impact of extreme weather events.
As Nyahururu Water and Sanitation Company, where we are just 50 meters down, and we have our intake. And those who know Nyahururu, it becomes very, very, when El Niño hits, we have to be very prepared. So one, as a company, we have joined. We have a joint undertaking with the county government, and you have seen we have already created soil traps. When just outside there, you can see 2 soil traps, both sides of Nyeri-Nyahururu Road, just before the Nyahururu River Bridge. Those are contingency measures to ensure that soil and debris coming from town are arrested before they hit our intake.
Majority, a good percentage of water utilities have already finished their business continuity plans, looking at the emerging risk of El Niño. One way to overcome that is what we did today morning. We must increase our forest coverage. We must grow trees. The other thing we are doing is it comes with a lot of erosion. So we are protecting our infrastructure from the vulnerable areas.
Chief Justice Martha Koome has launched Distinguished Women's Leaders, a book celebrating women whose leadership has advanced justice, human rights, and the rule of law in Kenya. Elizabeth Atieno reports.
In this room are women who carry great titles and through resilience, determination, and years of service. Their stories are a powerful reminder of the journey they have taken to reach their positions of influence and success.
Too often, people, especially women, underestimate the significance of their own journeys. Yet telling your story is not an act of self-promotion, it is an act of leadership, it is an act of service to the nation and historical stewardship.
Today, these women leaders have gathered in Nairobi to demonstrate that gender equality is not merely a constitutional idea, but a reality that is being lived and advanced.
The Constitution demands, really, that in government, women must take the position that is theirs. Secondly, that no woman should be treated discriminatorily as compared to men.
Through their work, they have inspired hope, created spaces for sisterhood, and built legacies that will continue to impact generations to come.
If you do not give to other people what you have, it will become stale. You will become obsolete.
Young women, I think, just find your passion and do it as unto the Lord. Yeah, it's not about recognition. It's not about status. Just do what you're called to do.
Today, they have come together to celebrate Chief Justice Martha Koome as she launches her book, Distinguished Women Leaders, which profiles the courage, dedication, and service of women who have contributed to nation building.
And I keep telling whoever cares to hear, please write your story. Everybody has a story.
When women thrive, families flourish, institutions become stronger, and nations prosper.
The stories of these distinguished women are deeply rooted in the African philosophy of Ubuntu, a belief in collective progress and shared success. Together, they seek to uplift one another, proving that leadership is not defined by gender, but by character, courage, and service.
We have been supported by others, and we are built on the legacies of others.
These are not ordinary women. They are women who have shaped laws, expanded access to justice, improved healthcare, defended human dignity, deepened democracy, and strengthened access to education.
Leadership is like a car. All you need is to know how to drive. It doesn't matter. The car will go where you direct it because you know the destination and you know how to drive.
The 170-page book launched by Chief Justice Martha Koome is more than just a collection of stories. It is a source of inspiration and a guiding thread for women, especially the younger generation, as they navigate their own leadership journeys. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Elizabeth Atieno, for that report. Meanwhile, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has intensified his political campaigns in Kajiado County, a region long considered a political stronghold of the late opposition leader Raila Odinga. Kalonzo used his visit to accuse the Kenya Kwanza administration of failing to deliver on its promises to Kenyans. Here's a report by Paul Kirobi.
Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka is wooing the Maa community in Kajiado East as he intensifies efforts to rally support ahead of the 2027 general election in a region that has traditionally been associated with the late opposition leader Raila Odinga. Kalonzo says the time has come for Kenyans to vote President William Ruto out of office in the next election. He has also dismissed reports that he recently visited State House.
Sasa hata kabla ya kusema wa Kenya tukae tuzungumze, anaanza kutoa uvumi ati Kalonzo anaenda kuungana na yeye. Watu wakapatikana na huzuni mkubwa. Asema sasa aliye tarajio letu peke yake, tarajio letu ameenda kuungana na Ruto. Sasa watu wakapatikana na huzuni.
The Wiper leader has accused the Kenya Kwanza administration of failing to fulfill promises made to ordinary Kenyans, claiming that the government has fallen short in addressing the challenges facing citizens.
Alijua because he knows the truth, alikuwa lobby kamba don't do it. Alafu anasema I promise kuwapatia watu wa Kajiado. Kwa hivyo yeye akasema mimi nitawapatia, lakini huku nyuma anatuma watu waende kotini. Waende kotini wasimamishe. Hakuwa na nia ya kupatia watu wa Kajiado Amboseli National Park. Huo ndio ukweli. Na kwa hivyo watu kama hawa ambao wanadanganya wale ambao wanawasimamia kama watoto, njia ni moja, kuwafanya one term.
Kalonzo has further accused President Ruto's administration of failing to honor commitments made to the Maa community, including claims that the community was denied a role in the management of Amboseli National Park, despite earlier assurances. The Wiper leader was hosted by Ward Representative aspirant Ezekiel Saitabao, who is seeking to unseat UDA candidate Daniel Kukan. Kalonzo was accompanied by leaders from the Ukambani region, including Senator Dan Maanzo, members of parliament, and other party officials. The party says it is intensifying efforts to strengthen its presence in Kajiado as it seeks to expand its political influence ahead of the 2027 general election. The race to succeed President William Ruto ahead of 2027 general election is gaining momentum daily, even as other political leaders within the opposition come to a different region to sell their agenda. Paul Kirobi, TV47, Kajiado County.
Now let's move to northern Kenya, where Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale says pastoralist communities in northern Kenya will no longer remain on the sidelines of national politics as leaders intensify efforts to increase voter registration ahead of the 2027 general election. Speaking in Afwein, Lagdera sub-county during a fundraising event to support the construction of mosques and madrasas, Duale said leaders from pastoralist communities have launched a mobilization campaign aimed at increasing the number of registered voters in the region.
We just want to make sure that the pastoralist and the Muslim community will not be a passenger in 2027 elections. We shall be stakeholders. We are mobilizing. Even today there was a mass registration. We will take ID cards and voters card, and all of them, inshallah, 2027, ile sanduku pekee itakuwa inajaa asubuhi na mapema ya president, itakuwa ya Mheshimiwa William Ruto. And we are telling the rest of the country, because he has brought equity in the distribution of development in our country, you might not like us. Wewe ukitaka chukia sisi, lakini sisi tuko na William Ruto. Na niliona juzi Rigiji amepata vijana wengine kutoka Thika, wengine kidogo. So Rigiji, hiyo watu unakaa na hawa si watu wa North Eastern. So wewe ukipiga kifua ya hiyo 3.5 million yako Rigiji, sisi tutalete 5 million.
And Kenya Kwanza leaders are calling for the proposed National Development Charter to prioritize historically marginalized regions, including northeastern Kenya, in the distribution of national resources. Speaking during a women empowerment program in Takaba West, Mandera County, the leaders say the charter should address long-standing development gaps in infrastructure and public services in marginalized areas.
Amin ya Rabbi, Mungu akubali. Nataka wakati wanatengeneza hii ruwaza tufanye ile kitu inaitwa affirmative action, kwamba zile sehemu ambazo zilibaki nyuma kwa maendeleo, kazi ianze huko, kazi ianze hapa Mandera, kazi ianze kule Garissa, kazi ianze kule Pwani, kazi ianze kule Nyanza, sababu hizi ni sehemu ambazo ziliachwa nyuma katika ruwaza ambazo zilitutangulia.
Leo tumekuja ili tufanye kazi ya kina mama iweze kufaulu. Mimi nimefurahi, nimeona watu wengi sana. Mambo ya maendeleo ya kina mama sehemu hii lazima iende mbele. Imenifurahisha kwamba wamama wamejitokeza wengi ili tufanye hii kazi.
Wema wakati aliposema maneno ya vetting yaondolewe kwa hii process ya ID. Hiyo ni sawa ama si sawa? Ili na sisi pia tuwe Wakenya kama wale Wakenya wengine.
Away from politics, for years they lived under leaking roofs and crumbling walls, with widows carrying the weight of loss and hardship alone. Now in Butere, a well-known initiative is restoring something many thought was lost forever, a home and a renewed sense of dignity. Faith Wangari reports.
At 74, Sylvia Mbai knows the sound of rain differently from most. For years, it meant water pouring through her roof and long nights filled with sorrow, wondering whether her mud walls would hold.
If I was a rich woman, I would build all the houses in the world
for the women who don't have a roof on top of their heads.
In Itenge village, Esther Otienge, 65, is also starting over. Widowed at 2010, she's raising 4 grandchildren after losing her daughter in an abusive marriage.
Hiyo nyumba ilikuwa imeanza kumwaga maji kwa kona, hata kufikia mahali ninalala kuna maji inamwaga hapo.
Elsewhere in Bunyonga village, Consolata Munyali's old roof had more holes than iron sheets itself, forcing her to seek shelter in neighbors' homes whenever it rained. Today, she says the new house has restored more than just shelter. It has restored her sense of belonging.
Away from politics, this is the calling that God is actually expecting us to do as humanity.
Sylvia, Esther, and Consolata are among the beneficiaries of a Safe Homes, Safe Spaces initiative, a partnership between the Office of the Women's Rights Advisor to the President and the SEK Diocese of Butere. The initiative identifies widows living in the most difficult conditions and does not just build houses, but also hope. Faith Wangari, TV47.
And women have been urged to take a leading role in the fight against poverty by supporting programs that promote education, improve livelihoods, and empower vulnerable families. The call was made during the Mombasa Relief Global Initiative's International Women's Day charity event in Mombasa. The organization says it is expanding its community programs across the coast region, including its flagship school feeding initiative, which currently supports about 600 children daily. It plans to increase the number of beneficiaries to between 1,800 and 2,000 learners through support from donors and development partners.
First things that caught our eye in a big way was the way women and young girls were treated. They were treated like second-class citizens.
This is our 25th year anniversary, so we had a special trip, and we've already helped about 400 kids. We've donated items. And
part of the reason we started this organization was to empower young girls, to show them there's another route, to show them, to allow them to have bigger dreams.
We've done the classrooms for them. We've put running water in the schools. We've done electricity, and all our schools that we support, we have computer labs.
We brought a group of strong women here, African-American women who are dynamic, and they're in there, and we have some Kenyan ladies as well, and they're in there, they're mixing and they're bumping heads and they're talking it out.
We feed daily 600 children a day, and that's 2 meals a day while they're in school.
The government is very optimistic about strengthening the tourism sector and economic cooperation following the visit of an 8-member delegation from the United States Congress. Tourism and Wildlife Cabinet Secretary Rebecca Miano says the visit reflects confidence in Kenya as a leading tourism destination and presents an opportunity to expand cooperation in trade, investment, energy, and environmental conservation. Speaking after receiving the delegation, Miano said the lawmakers will visit the Masai Mara National Reserve to witness the great wildebeest migration. She added that the experience will encourage them to return to Kenya and promote the country to more American visitors.
We have visitors that we are welcoming today from Congress, United States of America, 8 of them who are here, and they are heading to Masai Mara. We've had a meeting, a discussion, a lot of broad-based discussion. First, even as tourists, and it's a very great endorsement of Kenya as a destination, a tourist destination of high-level visitors. We've also discussed various things, and we know that them being the policymakers coming up with legislation and decisions in the U.S., they will have more information, first-hand experience, so that when certain support and policies are being made.
The United States, and having our friendships with Kenya, the minister, with her energy background and with the tourism, it kind of ties it absolutely ties into what our committee is focused on. And as I told her, there's a lot of pressure on her and her ministry's shoulders, because the animals and the wildlife, that's our part of Kenya, are not just important to Kenya, it's important to the world. And so we're here to understand our role in helping. I know economic development always, anytime you have growth and economic development, it enhances your ability to conserve.
Now let's get sporty. Kenya's national women's football team, Harambee Starlets, has intensified preparations in Morocco ahead of their final Group A match against Algeria on Monday. Despite suffering defeats against host Morocco and Senegal in their opening 2 matches, Beldine Odemba's side remains determined to finish their WAFCON 2026 campaign on a positive note by securing maximum points against Algeria. The Starlets are in a challenging Group A alongside Morocco, Senegal and Algeria, but head coach Beldine Odemba has praised her players for their commitment and competitive performances throughout the tournament. In matters rugby, the Dallas Sevens rugby tournament continues to gain momentum at the Jomo Kenyatta Stadium in Mamboleo, Kisumu County. Excitement filled the stands as Modis stunned the home side Kisumu RFC with a commanding 34-12 victory. The results put the Nairobi-based team in a strong position as they prepare to face Daystar in tomorrow's highly anticipated clash.
Game against the hosts, good win. We stuck to our systems, we played how we wanted to play. We got a chance to control the game, and it's a good win. So this places us in a position where we can now fight for cup quarters tomorrow. We have one more game against Daystar.
We lost the first one, this is the second one we've won. First one we lost to Mwamba. So winning this game is very crucial to us, because now we have to win one more game so that we can qualify for the quarterfinals. So it's a good step for us. Let us wait for the third game of the day, see if we're going to make it to the quarters.
The overall circuit winner, for men, they'll get 300,000. Runner-up will get 150, and the second runner-up will get 100,000. Then for the women, the winner gets 200,000, the runner-up 100,000, and the second runner-up 150,000. But per circuit, we also have prizes for the same. For the men, it's 150,000, runner-up 100, and third place is 50,000.
And the race for the 104th Kenya Amateur Match Play Championships title has narrowed down to 2 finalists after an action-packed day of competition at Limuru Country Club. The tournament featured dramatic finishes, a playoff, and a highly anticipated rematch that kept fans on the edge of their seats. In the quarterfinals, Edward Window of Austria defeated Caden Wisanji of Windsor Golf Hotel and Country Club after pulling away on the back 9 in a closely contested match. The contest later headed into extra holes, where Mahir Patel secured victory on the third playoff hole with a birdie after Manji managed only a par.
It's surreal. So standing here today, I did not think I'd get to the finals, especially after Royal, but I'm just happy to be here and happy to have played this good.
But Alhamdulillah, I got the opportunity to play against him in the semi-finals. I started from the round of 32 very well. As I said yesterday, whatever God has willed for me, I'm ready to receive. Aside from that, the game is still at 90%. Inshallah, I can release everything tomorrow.
Well, that wraps up our bulletin this evening on TV47 Prime. But don't go too far, because on the other side of the break, we're having a conversation and we're talking about rejection. What does it feel like to live in the shadows of being rejected, especially by your parent? Let's take a look at that conversation right after this break, so don't go too far. But from Catherine Simaloi, she wants to wish you a good night.